Welcome back, everybody. Today I want to talk about a new movie called Everything Everywhere All at Once. There will be spoilers in this video, so if you haven't seen the film yet, please come back after watching it. I highly recommend this film if you're into sci-fi and anything multiverse. If you're new to my channel, please hit that subscribe button. It really helps me out. Okay, let's get into this.
Mrs. Wang, are you with us?
I am paying attention.
Everything Everywhere All at Once is a movie that came out March 11, 2022, and in my opinion, hasn't really gained the media attention that it deserves. It might actually be the best film I've seen of 2022 so far. I would say that it was even better than Doctor Strange 2. I found out about the film through a friend who knows that I really like time travel and multiverse stuff. You know, films of that nature. When I watched the movie for the first time, I gotta say, I was really blown away. Not just by the acting or the story itself. It was really, how should I say this, relatable. Underneath all the sci-fi aspects of the film, you truly do have a really rich story that I think a lot of people might be able to relate to. I think what I found so amazing about the story is the fact that the character arcs each have a little bit of something that you can pull from. It's not just one character, it really is all the characters. The movie did a really good job making me care about them, even the ones that didn't have a lot of screen time. It really is like layers and layers of drama, comedy, and sci-fi all mixed together for a perfect combination. There were times in the film where I was really sad, and then there were times where I couldn't stop laughing. And then there was also times where I was like, wow, that's a really interesting idea. It's been a really long time since I've seen a film that made me feel that range of emotion. Even when it comes to Marvel films, you have very surface level comedy. Everything funny that happens in the Marvel movies are usually line driven, and they're obvious. It's like, oh, okay, I'm supposed to laugh here. When it comes to this film, the comedy is delivered in such a way that the viewer can almost use their imagination to figure out why this is funny. Some of the funniest moments in the movie weren't line driven at all. Don't get me wrong, there was plenty of lines from the characters that were hilarious, but the story would go from extremely sensitive and serious topics to wow, I can't stop laughing. It's that transition between the seriousness of the situation into what's funny about the situation that this film does really well. As far as the cast goes, I really can't say enough good things about them. They did a phenomenal job, especially the actress Michelle Yeoh and Stephanie Hsu. Before this film, I wasn't really familiar with either of these actresses, but in my opinion, they really hit it out the park with their portrayal of their characters. It's honestly refreshing to see more Asian actors and actresses are getting lead roles in Hollywood. It's just not something that we see very often. The bigwigs in Hollywood really need to take notes because without this movie, I might have never been introduced to these talented people. Aside from the two leads in the movie, Ke Huy Quan and Jamie Lee Curtis also featured in this movie. As I said before, even though these two don't really have lead roles in the movie, there's still plenty enough character development for these two, and they stay relevant throughout the entire film. At no point during the film was I totally fixated on one character or one story arc. I wanted to know what was happening to everybody. The way that the writers handle the multiverse in this movie is actually really interesting. It's silly, but also plausible when you think about, the infinite number of universes that could exist inside of a multiverse. At the end of the day, it really makes you think, how relevant are the decisions that you make in life? Does it really matter? Because if there is a multiverse out there, then there's a version of you that's made opposite decisions of the ones that you've made. Or one that's made completely different decisions, no matter how outlandish it may be, and even though you're not living that life, there's a version of you that is. The movie does a brilliant job at doing this. Oftentimes, it's done comedically, but at the same time, makes you ask real philosophical questions about what's actually meaningful in life. And to me, that truly is what the basis of this movie is really about. In the beginning of the film, when you first meet the Wang family, no one seems particularly happy. Evelyn, the main character of the movie, is struggling with accepting her daughter's sexuality and her life choices as a whole. Waymond, Evelyn's husband, is getting ready to serve her with divorce papers because he feels that perhaps that may allow them to actually talk about their relationship so he can explain how he feels very distant from her. The daughter, Joy, feels like her mother just can't accept her for who she is. And all of this is happening while the family's laundromat business is being audited by the IRS. This puts them all at what seems like a breaking point for the family. It's during the IRS audit when Evelyn first experiences and learns about the multiverse. It's here in the film where everything goes from 0 to 100 really fast. I was actually really surprised by the amount of action they had in this film. The choreography was amazing. Throughout the movie, Evelyn eventually learns that the person destroying universes is actually a variant of her daughter. Essentially, this variant of Joy learns how to traverse all the different universes, and because of that, she kind of goes a little bit insane. This leads her to put everything on a bagel. And when I say everything, I literally mean everything in the universe is put on this bagel. She creates an everything bagel / black hole that destroys universes. Wayman's variant tells Evelyn that she's the only one who can stop Joy. Throughout the movie, Evelyn eventually becomes just as good as Joy is at traversing the different universes, and because of this, Evelyn even almost starts to question what really matters. It's her husband, who she previously seen as somebody who doesn't take anything seriously, that kind of brings her back. Because of this, Evelyn starts to use her ability to travel across all these different universes to find the things that make each individual happy, rather than using the ability to learn how to physically fight them. She's essentially fighting them with kindness. This allows Evelyn to eventually convince Joy that there are things worth fighting for, and that there are things worth living for. Overall, I was really impressed with this film. It's definitely a movie that I'm not going to forget anytime soon. It's well worth the movie theater price, and if I had to rank it, I would say it's at least an easy 9 out of 10 for me. Now, that might be because I'm a little bit biased. I really do enjoy these types of movies, so take that for what it's worth. Anyways, that does it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you've already seen the movie, drop me a comment. Let me know what you thought about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.